The thought of getting a degree can be straight up terrifying, we get it. But Southern New Hampshire University makes it easier than you'd think. They have over 200 degrees you can earn online. No set class times, so your social life stays alive and well. And low online tuition that won't scare your bank account. College doesn't have to be a horror story. Visit snhu.edu/lastpodcast to get started. That's snhu.edu/lastpodcast.
Clorox Toilet Wand, it's all in one. Clorox Toilet Wand, it's all in one.
Hey, what does all in one mean?
The caddy, the wand, the preloaded pad. There's a cleaner in there, inside the pad.
So Clorox Toilet Wand is all I need to clean a toilet?
You don't need a bottle of solution to get into this toilet revolution. Clorox, clean feels good.
Use as directed.
There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left. That's when the cannibalism started.
What was that?
I know we haven't even finished part 6, but why don't we do 7?
Honestly, this episode, because I got to kill so many Nazis with my words, I kind of got invigorated. I was like, I could do this fucking forever. I'm back in. I'm invigorated. I'm fucking ready to go. Welcome to the last podcast on the left, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marcus Parks. I'm here with Henry Zabrowski. Are you ready to kill some fucking Nazis, Henry?
I'm always ready to kill some Nazis with kindness. That's the key. Always got to make them feel uncomfortable with being vulnerable.
Yes. Before we kill the Nazis, can we piss on them first?
They like it.
And we also have the urine ready Ed Larson with us.
I'm European.
I'm a peon.
And yeah, we're here. We're at part 6. We are
Yes.
at the conclusion to our series on Heinrich Himmler. The first head of the Mount Rushmore of evil is almost chiseled in stone completely.
And I love that this one is probably not even the most unpleasant one.
No, this is the most pleasant one.
Yeah.
This is easy. This is
Dude,
easy.
wait till we get to the other 3.
Oh, you're talking about the Mount Rushmore of evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of those are going to be pretty upsetting.
Yeah.
The other
Worse than Himmler?
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Well,
Different.
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 Let's say different. Yeah, it's like we wanted to upset people in as many ways as we could.
And that's the goal.
Good.
Every
I hope so.
way.
Would the next guy be like a doctor?
No.
Maybe
No,
a
because
lawyer.
doctors have
I hate
licenses.
lawyers. Or a prosecutor. Oh, those bastards always trying to tell me I can't smoke weed. You fucking prosecutor piece of shit.
I'm with
man.
you, buddy.
I'm gonna fucking pull your pants down and slap your tush because it looks like 2 Himmlers next to each other.
Now we're in trouble.
Let's get into this shit and let's put Himmler in the fucking ground.
Oh, yes.
So when we last left Heinrich Himmler, the scope of the Nazis' ambition concerning Lebensraum and the final solution was finally starting to catch up with them. See, by the end of 1941, the Nazis had spread across Europe like a disease, and it had been the SS and the Gestapo under Heinrich Himmler's command that had kept the people of Europe in a state of constant terror, where anyone could be sent to a concentration camp or outright executed for standing up to Nazi rule. In the West, Germany had conquered and occupied the majority of continental Europe with the help of their fascist Italian allies. And in countries like France, Norway, and the Netherlands, the Nazis were using the Gestapo to root out and kill Jews wherever they found them. In the East, the Nazis had run riot over Poland, Czechoslovakia, and large swaths of the Soviet Union, and Himmler's Einsatzgruppen units had slaughtered millions in pursuit of the Nazi dream of Lebensraum. But the problem the Nazis had in 1941 was twofold. First, the invasion of the Soviet Union had been badly planned.
Oh, they were going to say it was an attitude problem. Continue, yes, because first of all, I do think that they were sour.
Way too much emphasis had been put on committing mass murder at the expense of working out the logistics of waging war in Russia during wintertime, which is, to say the least, a notoriously daunting task.
Yeah, General January, General February.
There you go. But perhaps the larger problem the Nazis had, or at least the more unexpected one, was that their other ally in World War II, Japan, they were going rogue and making decisions based on their own visions of imperial conquest.
Too many cooks.
Yep. See, the Nazis could handle the Russians just so long as Stalin was forced to keep troops on the eastern border that Russia shared with China. Japan had a long-standing beef with Russia, and since Japan had spent the 1930s creating their own special version of hell in Manchuria, they were well capable of pushing on into the Soviet Union. But when Japan decided that they were going to declare war on the United States instead with a sneak attack on Pearl Harbor because of our oil embargoes and because they wanted the lands we controlled in the Pacific, Papa Joe Stalin could take all those Soviet troops stationed in the East and shove them right up the Nazis' asses.
And that's why FDR jumped out of that chair and clicked his heels, knowing that that opportunity had finally fallen upon his numb as a sheet of metal lap.
Hey, you boys went into Charleston?
The thing was, Japan didn't even tell Hitler what they were doing. But while you'd think good old Adolf would be incredibly angry about being kept in the dark, because Japan had to keep this secret as tight as possible, that wasn't the case at all.
Yeah, he was just like, thank you for anticipating needs.
Yes. Are we
That's what a good partner does!
are we allowed to call him sneaky?
That's sneaky. In this
You're not
episode.
even talking to Hitler about killing Americans?
Super sneaky.
That's sneaky.
It's the sneakiest you can get.
And that's the biggest crime.
Yeah, the lies. At least tell me the truth.
While Hitler was certainly surprised after Pearl Harbor, he was ultimately pleased because he believed war with Japan would not only keep America busy and out of the European theater, but it would also, at the very least, slow down the aid that America had been giving to the UK since the beginning of their fight with the Nazis. Hitler, however, was a fucking idiot. The German generals who actually had a brain knew that all was lost for Germany the moment America entered the war, because Japan had awoken a so-called sleeping giant with near unlimited resources and a hell of a taste for revenge.
Come to America. We're kicking him out.
God, we love to kill. It's like, come on, guys. I know we pretend to be good, but remember, we kill.
Give me a goddamn reason to kill. Give me a reason. We do it many different ways. We do it with guns. We do it with drones. We do it with disease. Give us a goddamn reason.
It's almost good that when we have a war, because then we don't kill our own people as much.
Not as much.
Yeah.
Nah. Maybe.
It's all the pile.
I'll take a maybe.
So, forces in Europe and around the world, some 26 governments in all, including America, they allied in 1942 to begin fighting back against the Axis powers with a specific eye towards stopping the incredibly destructive and murderous Nazi war machine.
And I will say thank you to everybody for understanding that we're doing all of the conflicts of World War II in one episode. Understand that it's just one episode. We're skipping the war, okay? Because you know what happened.
It's not a World War II series. It's a Himmler series.
Exactly. And we're not necessarily skipping the war. We're still talking about the war. We're just not going into the battles necessarily, because there are other podcasts who do that far better than we do. After you're done with this series, please go listen to the Hardcore History series on the Eastern Front. It's fucking incredible. But yeah, they know how to do military history. We know how to do shitheads.
Yes.
Well, as a result of these 26 countries coming together, the German people began to see that there were dire consequences for following a fascist leader like Adolf Hitler. In 1943, the Allies launched the appropriately named Operation Gomorrah, and over 7 days of continued bombing, British and American forces showed the people of Hamburg the meaning of the word biblical.
God's angry and he's Jewish.
I mean, personally, I believe that the hamburgers should have been left alone.
Yes.
The firestorms generated by the Allies during the bombing of Hamburg spanned over 8 square miles, creating flames a mile high. An estimated 30,000 German civilians were burned alive, and that was only a preview of the hell the German people were about to endure as a result of the hell that the Nazis had unleashed upon others. Now, that's not to say that we believe roasting civilians by the thousands was the right thing to do.
No, it's the fun thing to do. Yes. We know that. We know what's fun. There's a difference between what's right and what's fun.
Yeah, and you cook hamburgers. Everyone knows you cook a hamburger. Yeah, you can't eat raw hamburger.
Gotta get an intense sear on that. Get the Maillard effect.
Yeah.
I mean, there were thousands of Germans who were decidedly anti-Nazi who died in these bombings. But it is nevertheless a sign that on this last episode of our series, we're finally going to put some of these Nazis into the fucking ground where they belong, including Adolf Hitler's #1 special boy, Heinrich Himmler.
Himmler.
And then it's going to be sad because Hitler's main struggle is going to be finding a good friend.
Oh, especially at the end. He
Yeah.
can't have one.
Yeah, because he's got to watch all the families fuck each other in the bunker. One day we will do the last weeks of the bunker as its own episode series.
The bunker is incredible.
Because that is truly my expertise in this whole thing.
Oh my God, I watched Downfall. That movie fucking rocks.
I love Downfall.
Downfall is so good. That guy's great as Hitler.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Best Hitler ever.
He is the best Hitler ever.
Yeah.
You're right.
He loves that.
I love that show on VH1. Whatever happened to it? Best Hitler ever.
Michael Ian Black was hilarious in that. He was great.
Were you on that show?
I was.
Yeah.
Yes, best Hitler ever. Yes. God, it was me. It was me, Michael Ian Black, Carrot Top, Heinrich Himmler's grandson.
Yeah. You got you got fired because your mustache was too wide.
Yeah, that's what they said. Jews link.
By the way, we totally fucked up by not getting this whole series sponsored by Hims.
Yeah. Now, as we discussed in our series on the Manhattan Project, World War II wasn't just fought and won in the massive battles. Many of the most important operations were small covert affairs, and it was indeed a small affair that took down the creator of the Einsatzgruppen, Himmler's #2 guy, Reinhard Heydrich. Now, unlike Heinrich Himmler, Reinhard Heydrich actually got his hands dirty as Himmler's top man in the SS. Heydrich had been responsible for the invasion and the brutal occupation of Czechoslovakia, in which hundreds of Czechs were executed or sent to concentration camps on Heydrich's orders. Heydrich was so notorious that his actions in Czechoslovakia led the Czechs to call him the Butcher of Prague. Now, the surviving members of the Czech government were operating in exile out of England after the Nazi takeover, and they wanted to make a big statement to the Germans and to the world at large that they weren't going to take the Nazi invasion lying down.
Yeah, we take it ass up.
Yeah,
like
man.
how we like it, because our back hurts.
Yeah, ass to ass. Yeah, fuck me. Yeah, you're Nazi. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, stick it in. Stick it in. I like you. Look me in the eyes.
Can we
It's hard to
isolate
do.
this, please? Yes, just take this. I would love to have this for his funeral.
Hey, you're dying first.
So, the Czechs, working with British intelligence services, trained dozens of their own resistance agents in the ways of infiltration and assassination for an operation that came to be known as Operation Anthropoid.
Why was it called anthropoid?
You know,
What does that term mean?
They just choose names, you know?
Sometimes they do. I feel like it's supposed to be random, and sometimes they have like inner hidden jokes, right?
Maybe
Don't
it's
they
like
have
a squish
thing?
a bug type of joint.
Oh,
I don't think-
resembling.
idea.
Oh, honestly, resembling a human being in form.
Yeah. So it's, Reinhard Heydrich was not quite human. I get it. Yeah. Yeah, and it's incredible. There's 4 movies made about Operation Anthropoid. Going back to the first movie was made in 1943, the year after it happened.
Oh, yeah, they're like, we got to make a movie about this shit.
Yeah, just sad because it was the only one that really worked. It was the only assassination plan, right? Of all the I don't know, so I'm just talking out of my butt.
I actually don't know either.
Yes.
If it was the only one that actually worked.
Because I know
but-
Operation Valkyrie went after Hitler. That didn't work.
Yeah.
And there
Well,
was a
that's because it was a bunch of Nazis doing it.
Yeah,
They don't
yeah.
know what the fuck they're doing.
well, we'll get to that later.
And Tom Cruise tried to learn the handbook as quickly as he could.
Yes.
Still, so tiny. Too tiny to play that guy. But anyway.
Yes.
Well, 2 men were ultimately chosen for Operation Anthropoid to parachute directly into Nazi-occupied Prague in May of 1942. And they had only one purpose: put an end to Reinhard Heydrich, one of the Third Reich's most evil villains. The secret agents met Heydrich's car on the road to Prague and pulled out a couple of Sten submachine guns with the intention of murdering Heydrich like Sonny in The Godfather.
Give me the loot! Give me the loot!
Yeah.
I mean, it is pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
standing in front of a car. It's like, but it didn't work like that.
Nope. But since the Stens were made fast and cheap, the guns jammed. Improvising, one of the Czech agents tried throwing an anti-tank grenade known as a thermos into the car's window, but his aim was off and the grenade grenade exploded near the rear tire of Heydrich's car instead. Now, Heydrich was injured in the blast, but he was still able to open the door and fire a few shots at the Czech agents as they escaped. But even though the agents hadn't obliterated Heydrich on sight into a mush of hamburger meat, what they'd done instead was far more satisfying. The grenade blast had maimed Heydrich, injuring his spine, his legs, and spleen, and after he collapsed on the scene, he was taken to a hospital where he died a slow, painful death from sepsis over the next 5 days.
I know we're supposed to save these, but
That guy's good. It's good to get him.
Now, the agents were killed by the Gestapo 3 weeks later, but they had nevertheless managed to take Reinhard Heydrich off the board, which was a massive blow to Heinrich Himmler's plans with the SS.
yeah, man, you had to kill that motherfucker. He was brutal. He was the worst, probably the worst of all of them in a weird way, just because he loved doing it himself.
Yeah.
You know, like he liked to be there holding the person as they died, but it was his own fucking piece of shit cockiness that got him because he would always travel in the convertible all around the town that he had just destroyed, like as like a go fuck yourself type of situation. And so they were able to, and Nazis are always like very like organized, you know? And so they knew exactly when he was going to be showing up in that convertible, and it was an easy kill.
Yeah, that was the whole joke about the Nazis making the trains run on time. The whole thing, what the Nazis making the trains run on time did was it made the Allies very easy to know exactly when to bomb the trains. Yeah, you got to be unpredictable sometimes. That's why America works. Chaos.
Oh, yeah, you think we're zagging? We're zigging. Yeah, it's pretty good. Also, you wonder if in the sequence, like, you know, in Godfather, when the oranges fall, right, every single time one of them died, do you think it's just a big sloppery plate of bratwurst that slides out of the tits of a big German woman?
Oh my God, I'm going to spit my coffee.
That's symbolism.
Now, even though Heinrich Himmler didn't trust Reinhard Heydrich, he was still devastated by the death of his number two. I've been waiting for fucking so many episodes. I've said number two, Heinrich's number two, so many times.
And we've been waiting until the final episode.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I gotta wait till he farts himself to fucking death and sepsis, you fucking idiot. You dookie. You died of dookie, number two, you fucking dum-dum.
But we cannot really overstate how dangerous he was.
We really can't.
Yeah.
But, you know, Himmler was very upset, if only because it showed how vulnerable every top Nazi really was.
Oh, they can get him.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, grenades do the trick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you throw a grenade at a guy, he blows up. Now, Himmler might have been discouraged after the death of his top man, but he instead continued his expansion of the Holocaust into its final form when he unveiled the mass murder factory that was Auschwitz. In July of 1942, just a month after Heydrich's death, Himmler traveled to Poland to oversee a demonstration of the camp's first gas chamber, which naturally met his approval. The trains therefore began running to Auschwitz en masse with the goal of killing as many Jewish people as possible, as fast as possible. But while Himmler's desire to wipe out all of the undesirables was only increasing by the day, the Nazis still needed slave labor to keep the Nazi war machine going. That was the whole thing with Nazi Germany, is that Nazi Germany could only grow if they took what they needed, if they stole what they needed. I need a factory, give it to me. I need people, give it to me. That was the only way Nazi Germany worked. That's why they had to constantly be on the move, why they always had to be conquering a new country, conquering a new territory. War was the only thing that drove them. Without war, the whole thing fell apart.
Yeah,
they were literally
poor as hell.
Yeah, and they were literally plundering. And it's actually kind of similar to how their Germanic ancestors slowly carved their way against the Roman Empire, the original Roman Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Pirates.
Yeah. Vikings. Mm-hmm. Goths. Vandals.
The Vandals.
See, the prisoners being detained at the thousands of concentration camps across Europe, there's about, at least, there's estimated maybe 40,000 concentration camps, tiny size, depending on what you call concentration camps, but there were well over 1,000 of the major ones.
That's crazy. In my mind, there's always 12.
No, it's over 1,000.
Is there just 12 huge ones? Is that what it is? Or?
Yeah, you have express ones you can go into. You got the
Some are just
commandant
drive
lounge.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them have a Taco Bell in them.
Some are full service, some are self-service. The self-service ones are really fucking, because that goes after the self-hating Jews.
The Jews for Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, these prisoners worked 60-hour weeks at least, and the death rate due to disease, malnutrition, and executions had become so high that the slave labor mechanism that Nazi Germany needed to survive was grinding to a halt. So Himmler issued an order across the camp system that the death rate had to be reduced, although this is sort of the beginning of mixed messages from Himmler when it came to exactly what the Nazis were doing with the concentration camps. In other words, mass murder is complicated.
It's a little complicated.
And the plot was starting to get lost. See, by 1942, the perpetual motion of violence that had sprung from Himmler's furious hatred was too far gone to slow it down in any meaningful way. Even outside of straight extermination, Himmler treated his slave labor prisoners worse than animals. Hell, you treat your tools better than Himmler treated these people.
He didn't hate his tools.
Yes. It was Himmler's policy that each and every prisoner be worked until they dropped dead. And if Himmler needed more slave labor, all he had to do was expand the parameters of what got you sent to the camps. The policy was extermination by default, either through working prisoners to death or immediately exterminating those who couldn't or wouldn't work. Prisoners who wouldn't work, by the way, were executed on Himmler's orders by other prisoners who happily hung their fellow inmates for the price of 3 cigarettes per hanging.
I mean, happily might be a little.
I mean, they were...
You know what some people say, I do it for the cigarettes? No, I do it for the company.
I mean,
I love these guys. These executioner guys. I love these guys.
Well, these guys in this, they were volunteers. They were guys like, who wants to, because, Himmler was trying to traumatize the least amount of SS men as possible. He's like, we'll have the prisoners do it because, the concentration camps, there were some true criminals there, some true psychopaths. I mean, remember Oscar Derlewanger, recruited a lot of psychopaths from the concentration camps because at this point, Heinrich Himmler made a law that any German who got a prison sentence longer than 18 years was sent to the concentration camps.
Okay, so they still had prisons.
Yeah.
In Germany.
Oh yeah, they had straight up just other prisons too.
Yeah. So if you were convicted of murder in Nazi Germany, you got sent to a concentration camp. So you had plenty of amoral people there who were willing to kill whoever for a few cigarettes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's better.
Well, that's cleared up.
Now, it might go without saying, but Himmler's need to exterminate the Jews became his all-consuming obsession as the years went by. To Himmler, the existence of a single Jew in Eastern Europe was personally offensive. But while this might sound weird, not every Nazi wanted every Jewish person dead. Or at the very least, they didn't, and this is probably more accurate, they didn't see the need to spend so much time and so many resources murdering every single one of them.
They're in the middle of a war.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, it's a distraction.
Yeah. Himmler would actually get into arguments with other top Nazis about what he was doing, but he could always fall back on the claim that everything was being done on Hitler's orders, and the other Nazis would do well to not question the vision of the Führer. This, however, was not just a claim. It was the truth. See, while Himmler was more loyal to Nazism than he was to Hitler personally, he still very much loved Hitler.
It's so hard not to. Separate the art from the artist.
He was still a big fan, because aside from a few of the diehards, Hitler was the only other guy out there who hated Jewish people as badly as Himmler did. But there was also nobody else out there who was as scared of the Jews as Hitler was.
It's kind of like that guy who stands up the motorcycle for Rob Halford every night on Judas Priest. He keeps the dream alive.
Yeah.
We know it's on a track, but they pretend to wheel it out.
Yeah.
They pretend to start it up for him.
Yeah.
And to be that's Heinrich Himmler.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the guy who makes the guitar spin for ZZ Top.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got you. I got you.
Is he ZZ Top if the guitars don't spin?
Yes. No, it's
Is
certainly
Hitler without killing all the Jews?
not. No. You can't just kill some of them once you start.
Yeah, but
Can we also isolate that as well? There's several of these I want to do. We'll put the timestamp on that. It's like 29 minutes.
It is hard to make this kind of funny. I am doing everything I can by betraying my people.
No, you're not betraying your people. You are participating in a long and beautiful tradition that goes all the way back to it's springtime for Hitler in Germany. Wow, we're terrible.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we ain't going to Broadway. I don't need it, dude. I'm bloated, man. It's the arm of the Mossad, dude.
Well, the point here is that Himmler did have a lot of respect for Adolf Hitler. By the early 1940s, Hitler and Himmler had known each other for 20 years.
Oh, that's like us.
Yeah.
And Hitler believed that there was no Nazi more loyal than Heinrich Himmler. But aside from their shared love of Lebensraum, Himmler was actually loyal, yes. But it was mostly because Hitler was a super scary guy who actually frightened Himmler quite a bit.
You might say that about Adolf Hitler. You know what I mean? You might call him a little bit of a scary guy.
Yeah, he was intimidating.
Yeah, he had a lot going on there. And he got, his whims were kind of hard to follow.
Yeah, when you yell every word you say, it gets a little crazy. It's just hard,
But people react the same way to me.
Do we think Hitler actually killed people with his own hands?
He saw action.
Yeah, I mean, he did see action, but he was a messenger. He wasn't an actual soldier in World War I. He just ran messages between the trenches.
That last thing I saw was so crazy. I just saw the bloodiest shit ever. So you want me to send your subscription in to Best German Ever?
Well, so sometimes you do have to kill the messenger.
Yep. Sometimes, yeah.
You would, if they were correct.
Yeah. No, there is actually a story that a British soldier told that he had the opportunity to kill Hitler. He remembered him, and he had the opportunity while Hitler was running messages during World War I, and he decided to spare his life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mistake.
Yeah.
Fucking dumb.
Never do that, guys.
Yeah.
Soldiers, never do that, okay?
Honestly, yeah, kill them all. Now, I know we're deep into something, but who had the haircut first? Himmler or Hitler?
You know what? I would say parallel thinking.
Parallel thinking?
Yeah.
It was the zeitgeist.
Yeah. Well,
they killed him too, unfortunately.
Well, for Hitler's part, he became attached to Heinrich Himmler partly because one of the SS's main functions from the beginning was to protect Hitler from assassinations. So Himmler acted almost like a security blanket for the Fuhrer. But more importantly, Hitler knew that Himmler's remarkable skills as an administrator and Himmler's dedication to Nazi Party doctrine meant that Himmler would carry out any order that Hitler gave him without objection, no matter how abominable it may be. And Himmler would probably add in a few ideas of his own to make it all that much worse.
Just the idea of making Hitler go like, damn, Heinrich. No one just expecting it, wanting to get getting the handshake from Paul Hollywood. Yeah.
Man, and for all of you playing the Himmler drinking game at home, that was a tough tough paragraph.
Yeah. Himmler knew that Himmler would do what Himmler did.
Rise from your grave.
The year is 2012. The setting, New York City. There are 1,000 stories in the naked city, and this one is about blood. Vampires are real. They stalk the streets, feeding on the living. Nobody is safe. Join me, Henry Zabrowski, along with Jackie Zabrowski and veteran TRPG player Ross Bryant, for an actual play series set in the Vampire the Masquerade universe, from the mind of Game Master Jared Logan. The show will premiere on the LPN TV YouTube channel starting on Wednesday, October 29th, and will release on a weekly basis. People will die, then get back up and bite you. Will my character succumb to the beast within? Can Jackie navigate the Byzantine intrigues of the damned? The future is a mystery. All we know is, it's gonna be a bloodbath. LPN RPG presents Bloodbath, every Wednesday on the LPN TV YouTube channel. It all begins on October 29th. Enjoy the mysteries.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform designed to help your business stand out and succeed online. every dream needs a domain, which is why I've finally solidified the borders of my own. AnimalsURLregister.com. You will bend to my will. Thanks to the power of Squarespace, I have been quantifyingly organizing every single available animal-based creative business URL that is around, and I'm coining them for myself. Wonderful things such as buffalossauce.com, such as kangaroohats.com, such as many different chickenshoes.com. And it's all held behind the giant, iron powerful Squarespace fueled gates of animalsurlregister.com. And any one of you that dares defy me or the unilateral power of Squarespace with their Blueprint AI, Squarespace AI enhanced design partner, which sounds like the hand in hand, we will march across the graves of URLs that people have been trying to steal from under me using the cannons of animalsurlregister.com. Me, AI, my old buddy Jeff Bezos, we're coming for you, all right? Squarespace is going to help me. Squarespace is my bullets. Squarespace is my canvas. Squarespace is my God. We like Squarespace here. Head to squarespace.com/left for a free trial. When you're ready to launch, use offer code LEFT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. This is an ad by BetterHelp. You know, I really lost contact with my ascended masters recently. It's been so hard to psychically reach them because so much aluminum is built up in my pituitary gland. I guess it's because I've been using all this fancy-dancy natural deodorant that apparently has extra aluminum in it. But honestly, I just wish I could reach out sometimes. You know, it's just nice to make somebody's day. My ascended masters always tell me I'm right and that I'm not too fat for life. But some people don't have ascended masters to talk to. Some people wish they could reach out to somebody. And this season, BetterHelp encourages you to reach out. Check in on friends, just like it takes a little courage to send that text or grab coffee with someone or ask one of your ascended masters what's the proper way to destroy communism. Reaching out for therapy can also feel difficult, but it can be worth it. So I say you get out there and just like I want to, give a call using the powers of Votan. And for those of you that don't have Votan, enjoy BetterHelp. This month, don't wait to reach out. Whether you're checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist, BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/lastpod. That's betterhelp.com/lastpod. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS, no! Plans start at $15 a month at Mint. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. Say no to getting another phone. Say no to paying more for your cell phone bill, because every day I wake up and I scream. First thing I scream, honestly, each morning, no! And then I realize, oh, what? That's actually amazing. I don't need to say no in this way. I've already said no to high billing because I work with Mint Mobile. So now I can go, no! At everything else. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/LPOTL. That's mintmobile.com/LPOTL. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Now, the problem with being Adolf Hitler's main dude was that it came with a lot of responsibility. Because if anything defines a Nazi, it's being busy. But after Reinhard Heydrich was killed, Himmler had lost his most capable subordinate in carrying out Hitler's most diabolical orders. Because Hitler insisted on doing everything himself, he therefore carried the full burden of carrying out the policies of mass murder after Heydrich's death, and the resulting stress only exacerbated the lifelong health problems that were caused by Himmler's weak constitution.
More dookie talk.
I get it, dude. I get it, man. Stress is the killer. It's not concentration camps.
See, Himmler was above all a very nervous man, and his constant anxiety, paranoia, and hatred would cause intense stomach cramps. This was a lifelong problem. But eventually, Himmler found a solution in the form of an Estonian-born massage therapist from Finland named Felix Kirsten. Now, Felix Kirsten was said to be a mild-mannered man with kind eyes and a, quote, sensual mouth.
Yeah. God, oh yeah, kiss him. Yeah, Felix, yeah. Yeah, feel me, Felix. Yeah, oh, god damn. You kiss that Pete as well. Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
Gross. I hated that.
I really didn't like any part of that.
Yeah,
In any
that's why
way.
you don't want to get a sensual mouth.
Well, Felix Kirsten had a gift for easing the anxiety of even his most neurotic patients.
Wow.
And he was therefore idolized by his clients. As such, Heinrich Himmler was so taken with Felix Kirsten's massage treatments that Felix became the most influential person in Heinrich Himmler's life following the death of Reinhard Heydrich. And as a result, this is true, Felix would play a surprisingly large role in the story of World War II, far larger than one would expect from any one masseur.
Technically, this man, I would put this as Himmler's Mike Lindell. Right? If we're going to do...
Is my pillow guy?
If Mike Lindell could have had a more positive influence earlier, right? I could see this being, him being like, what I see you need here, oh, I see you just aren't sleeping right. You need a new pillow, right? If he had fixed everything with his pillows, Mike Lindell would have the same effect here.
I actually see where you're going with this.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, as far as how Felix Kirsten became so good at massage that he ended up influencing the events of the most destructive war in history,
These two fingers.
he first became interested in the art when he was hospitalized for rheumatism while fighting in the trenches of World War I for the Germans. According to Felix, the doctor who treated him in the Helsinki military hospital remarked that Felix's strong, plump hands and broad, short fingers
I'm good for this.
were ideally suited to massage.
Oh, I can grip and rip, dude.
Yeah. So, when Felix returned to Finland, he earned a degree in scientific massage, then moved to Berlin in 1922.
I'd make Himmler fall asleep in seconds with these hands.
Yeah?
Himmler is like silly putty, but I guess irrational putty.
I would say hateful putty.
Well, in Berlin, Felix Kirsten claims he found a mentor who introduced him to a fragile old Chinese masseur named Dr. Ko, who had learned about the ancient art of massage in Heinrich Himmler's favorite Asian country, Tibet.
I love that kind of Asian.
Supposedly using Dr. Ko's techniques, Felix Kirsten began building a substantial client list in Berlin throughout the 1930s. These clients were mostly made up of upper and middle-class people who didn't really see why others were making such a big deal about this whole Nazi thing. And Felix felt the same way.
Oh, Felix loved feeling him.
He just likes a knot that he can unleash.
See, Felix claimed again and again that he wasn't interested in politics, nor was he aware of anything, quote-unquote, political happening around him.
Every masseuse has always been the same. They're all like this. They all turned weirdly into fascists. It's all like this.
Sound is not a bath.
Well, sure. Felix said that he was shocked and offended by the anti-Semitism and by the Nazi police state.
Yeah, everything about it.
But he said that he, quote, forced himself to not dwell on injustices he could personally do nothing about. Now, this might have just been Felix trying to avoid the trauma of the suffering he endured in the trenches of World War I. But Felix said that instead of focusing on the injustices of others, he dedicated himself to getting as much pleasure as he could out of life. Yeah. And as such, Felix Kirsten is the closest thing to a character from Cabaret that we're going to get in this entire series.
See.
Now, Finland was cozy with the Nazis because both of them hated the Soviet Union. And Felix Kirsten, they weren't necessarily allies. They were what you would call co-belligerents.
Okay.
And Felix Kirsten had earned a reputation amongst high-ranking officials in the Finnish government as a miracle worker.
A squeezes Christ.
Apparently, a Finnish official had mentioned Felix's skills to Heinrich Himmler after Himmler had complained about his chronic stomach issues. So in March of 1939, Felix got a message that he was to travel to Berlin immediately to give Heinrich Himmler a massage.
Oh, I must go and get all of my lube. I must be so slippery for the Führer's number 2.
Incredibly, as Felix's hands kneaded and pressed upon Himmler's horrible little body, Felix found the nerve centers that caused Himmler's stomach cramps. Himmler, meanwhile, jabbered on during the massage about how his stomach troubles robbed him of the energy that he needed to do his quote-unquote important work.
Yeah, I can feel it right here. It's in the shoulder, in the right shoulder. Do you write forms ordering gas with this side?
How did you know?
I can feel it in here. Yeah.
Is it too much, you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that. Can you switch to stamps? Instead of writing it out, maybe you could switch to the left hand because I can feel on this side. Because this is more for, I feel this. This is your slap and Jew side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel like the. I can feel the joy here. It's over here. I can see that you're bunched up by schedules.
Too many schedules, I know.
Right?
Yes. Let me get in there. Come on, my belly.
Now remember, this is early 1939. This is before the invasion of Poland. It's before the Einsatzgruppen. It's before the worst of the Holocaust.
He had these ideas on the massage table?
No, what I'm saying is that it's not like he had the ideas on the massage table, but Himmler was still a known quantity. He was known as the guy who hated Jews.
Yeah.
But Felix knew nothing about Himmler's so-called important work because Felix didn't care about politics. And sure enough, by the end of that first session, Felix had eased Himmler's pain for the first time in Himmler's miserable life, thereby enabling Himmler to fully focus on the task at hand. That task, of course, was the Holocaust.
I'm sorry. Fucking Felix. God damn it.
Just like, all better now.
Yeah.
God. Ooh, yeah, I can write so many more forms now.
It's true.
I know.
It's true.
I just sitting here picturing this guy because his belly hurt. So
Yeah.
I just picture him just rubbing his belly a bunch. Like it's not even like a good massage.
I'm making his belly talk.
I hate Jews. That sounds like you.
Surprisingly relaxing.
It sounds like you.
Now, for Heinrich Himmler, Felix's massages were a confirmation of his beliefs regarding modern medicine. Nazis, on the whole, regarded 20th century medicine as a degenerate science because of the influence of Jewish doctors. So Nazis were all about alternative medicine and homeopathic remedies. In fact, Felix Kirsten said that Himmler was fully intending to force his own personal medicinal beliefs on the entire Reich after the war. If Heinrich Himmler had his way, there would be no chemical treatments of any kind and definitely no vaccines.
It sounds like a really great idea. Actually, I wonder if they actually hear some good ideas. I wonder what they could do.
So basically, if we had enough time, they would have just died off on their own.
Eventually, yeah, they would have. Yeah.
Mumps would have taken this bitch-ass system out.
Well, instead, the people under the Third Reich's boot would use herbs, crystals, and massage treatments to treat anything and everything, including broken bones and cancer.
Oh, yeah.
Like many of today's homeopathic influencers, Himmler's philosophy was heal his way or die.
It's like, say what you want about the Jews, but use the doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Use the dentists.
doctors.
Yeah.
Just let it, look at Kanye. He hates the Jews and all this shit, but if he didn't hate Jews so much, he would have been able to find a good Jewish doctor to give his mom that boob job.
Disgusting. Disgusting.
Now, because Felix Kirsten was able to treat Himmler's cramps, Himmler insisted
Mein Cramps!
that was the name of his book. Yeah, Mein Cramps. Himmler insisted that Felix remain in his exclusive service every day for as long as Himmler wished. As a carrot, Himmler even gave Felix the rank of colonel in the SS, complete with a uniform and salary, which had to have burned the asses of so many SS men.
Oh, also, it's not easy to massage people in one of those outfits.
Yeah, all the jingling metals really could take me out of my zen point.
But as the months went by and Felix's techniques got even more in tune with Himmler's body, Himmler began to relax and he began to soften. Felix, therefore, basically became Heinrich Himmler's confessor, and Felix was suddenly privy to all of the horrible things that Heinrich Himmler was doing and planning.
Just like Danny Aiello from Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah. Interestingly, Felix noted that whenever Himmler got worked up about the Jews...
Goddamn Jews! I get so mad!
That's when his pain and his cramps would be at their worst.
No one understands me, Felix.
No, these Jews, they just get on top of you. They get in your head. You got to let it go.
Do you feel you hold your hate and your Jews in your shoulders?
Actually, Felix sometimes would be like, he's like, you know what? I actually have some Jewish clients. They're actually very nice. And then Himmler would fucking flip out on him. And that's when he learned that, that's when he learned who Himmler was.
Oh, he's just like, oh, you really don't like Jews.
Yeah. But even so, Felix was always there to make Himmler's tummy feel better after the nasty Jews got him into a tizzy. So Himmler very often listened whenever Felix Kirsten talked. As such, Felix's role in the war is complicated, to say the least. While he did give the second most powerful man in Nazi Germany the peace and stability he needed to organize the Holocaust, Felix also did whatever he could to save lives once he realized that he had the power to do so. Felix used his influence on Himmler to have prisoners freed from the concentration camps whenever possible, and at the end of the war, Felix would play a pivotal role in slowing down the mass murder of the Jews, thereby saving the lives of an estimated tens of thousands of people. The Monsieur.
All it took was about, I would say, 24 carefully placed happy endings. And that really shaped the end policies.
Oh, do you feel my Band-Aid?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
I'll tell you honestly, okay, if you drink 8 ounces of water every 40 minutes, you'll stop hating those Jews by Wednesday.
I don't want to
Shush. I gotta hit this bowl.
Now, while Felix Kirsten was tending to Heinrich Himmler's health in 1942, Adolf Hitler's bodily functions were nosediving, and Himmler was taking special note of every ailment.
Couldn't help but notice you're sick.
See, even though Himmler was terrified of Adolf Hitler, he still coveted the position of Führer. So for Himmler, the path of least resistance towards that goal would be Hitler dying of natural causes, which seemed more and more likely as the war dragged on. See, by 1942, Adolf Hitler, by the way, Adolf Hitler had syphilis.
Oh, we know, yeah.
And it was untreated.
Isn't it all like, because so many things said about him.
About his health?
Life and what in his health and shit, right? Like,
There's many things said about him.
The one ball is the one that I always think of.
Yeah.
Is that true?
As far as I know, I'm going to say it is.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. That idea that I got bitten off by a Jewish goat. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if they can tell if it's Jewish. It depends on the goat's mother.
There's a ton of stuff about Hitler. So, there's also, there's the fact that Hitler was a meth head and that he was constant. Everyone's seen the footage of him at the Olympics, like just tweaking his ass off, rocking back and forth.
We know he was on meth.
No,
we know that.
Pervitin. He was on Pervitin. Like his personal doctor was the guy who created Pervitin, the meth that all of the Nazis were on. The doctor used to inject him with belladonna and strychnine because Hitler also had really bad stomach cramps. Sometimes he'd give him bull semen, just whatever. Oh yeah,
the old-fashioned way.
And everyone was like, it really that's what it said is that Hitler's doctor was the best friend the Allies ever had.
Oh man, that's one thing I know about bull semen and strychnine. Not Jewish medicine.
That is true. That sounds very Aryan. Yeah.
But also great tasting menu there. Have you ever been to Bull Seaman in Stick 9 downtown? It's amazing.
Yeah, I like bull semen. It's one of the few semens you could fry up.
No, Adolf Hitler's untreated syphilis began showing symptoms by 1942. Insomnia, dizziness, headaches, progressive paralysis. And by 1943, Hitler was showing signs of Parkinson's disease. This could be seen clearly in the final footage that was shot of Hitler, where his hand is shaking like there's a motor attached to it while he was talking to a group of Hitler youth just before the bad day in the bunker.
It's all that hiling.
Yeah, too much hiling. You know?
Yeah, carpal tunnel, hiking, striking.
He waved at so many people he couldn't stop at the end.
But as Hitler's health began to devolve alongside the Nazi war effort, with the Americans pushing into Italy from Africa, the British destroying city after city in bombing campaigns, and the Soviets standing strong in Stalingrad, Hitler retreated to the most nerdily named Nazi clubhouse yet. This military outpost, located in the forests of East Prussia, was called, without irony, the Wolf Slayer.
Yeah, the old details wag the Nazi Hitler.
Yeah. It sounds like a furry club.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It does. Sounds like a place where you buy dice.
This is where my dogs sleep.
Once Hitler retreated to the Wolf Slayer, he didn't go outside, he didn't exercise, and he only received his ministers, trusted men like Göring, Goebbels, and of course, Himmler. Himmler, however, was not the only one who could see that the cheese was sliding off Hitler's cracker. Göring, in particular, was trying to position himself to take over as Führer, but Himmler remained cautious and did his best to stay out of the machinations of the other top Nazis whenever he visited the Wolf's Lair. Now, as the Russian counterattack kept going badly for the Nazis on the Eastern Front, it became quite obvious that the Soviets were going to begin retaking land. Once retaken, the Soviets were going to very quickly discover what the Einsatzgruppen had done in the wake of the initial Nazi advance, and in the years since the Nazis had occupied the land.
And they're going to be like, great idea!
Yeah, I was going to say, would they even care?
No. Well, they do bad.
The Soviets?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They killed everybody.
Yeah.
It's the wanton killing of women and children.
Yeah. They cared quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we'll show later on just how much they cared and how they showed their displeasure to the German people. Well, the top Nazis began discussing how to remove any traces of the mass executions that had been carried out by the Einsatzgruppen between 1939 and 1943. And the best idea they had was dreamed up by a Nazi with the ridiculous name of Paul Blobel. But in contrast to the hilarious name, Blobel was actually one of the worst of Himmler's men.
I actually don't know why you thought my name would make me better. I don't know why you thought that you'd raise your expectations for me. My name's Mr. Blobel.
Hey, let me put some more blubber in your mouth there, Mr. Blobel.
I'm honestly so sad I don't know if I can commit atrocities today. I'm really not into it. I need to make a mental health break from my atrocities.
Here, enjoy another fat wurst.
Thank you. I don't bite.
Well, in addition to pioneering the use of the gas vans and organizing the massacre at Babi Yar, that's, by the way, the worst single massacre in all of World War II.
Thank you.
Blobel had also developed the concentration camp gas chambers.
Well, yeah. Well, why don't you read all my credits?
I actually don't have time to go through all the horrible things that Blobel did.
I know.
But since Blobel had made the mess, he was given the job of cleaning it up. Blobel's best idea was to just burn the millions of corpses in a series of ghastly bonfires. So he began stacking the corpses with railroad ties and soaking the piles in gasoline. But this open-air cremation system caused health problems for everyone involved, and the massive amount of bodily fluids leaking from the corpses seeped so deeply into the ground that it began to poison the water wells.
Those fucking idiots.
Well, what are you going to do?
You got to get rid of them.
I'd say don't kill them in the first place.
That would be better.
Controversial.
That's me, though. Yeah, I'm a pussy.
Now, the Nazis very much needed a solution here, because in February of 1943, the Nazis were at long last defeated in the Battle of Stalingrad, the bloodiest battle in human history. Stalingrad had consumed 1.8 million lives.
Jesus fucking Christ.
But the Soviets had come out on top, and the Nazis were fully in retreat. Seeing the writing on the walls, Heinrich Himmler contacted Paul Blobel and told him to redouble his efforts in destroying any evidence of genocide that had been committed by the Einsatzgruppen on Himmler's orders. So in August of 1943, Blobel returned to the Babi Yar ravine in Kiev, where he began unearthing the mass graves and burning the bodies, because after trying dynamite again to gruesome effect.
I just keep trying. I'm sorry. It's just kind of fun for me. I got all this dynamite I gotta move.
Open-air cremation was still the best idea any of them could come up with. Health hazards be damned. Blobel had a team of 64 people working around the clock to destroy the corpses that the Nazis had dumped in Babi Yar. And even though he managed to exhume and destroy an estimated 125,000 corpses, he didn't even come close to destroying all of the evidence of Einsatzgruppen activities by the time the Nazis retreated from Russia.
Seriously, you guys gotta calm down. All right, if you want me to do all this.
I mean, he did have to call up Himmler and be like, "Oh, I'm really sorry, I just didn't get it done in time."
It's just like, it's a lot.
It's a bunch of bodies.
It's a lot. The holidays are coming up. Let me come back. All right, let's catch up to this. Let's
circle around.
Work back on this.
You want to circle around.
Yeah,
You want to circle around. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Send a message to my assistant.
Yeah,
she said circle around.
I'll have my booker reach out for that. We got to circle back January Q1.
Now, Heinrich Himmler, meanwhile, was very much starting to realize that if anyone was going down for this whole Holocaust thing, it was going to be him. So, in May of 1944, Himmler did what any good fascist criminal does when the walls are closing in. He made everyone else complicit.
Time to me to make like Mary Lou Retton and flip.
Oh, he's not flipping yet.
This is already in there. He's prepared. He's stretching the calves.
Yeah, no,
he's stretching the calves. He's waiting. He's trying to figure out how to flip.
Yeah. See, while the Nazis did talk a lot in public about getting rid of the Jewish people, the final solution itself was not openly talked about very often.
Because that would make them all criminally liable.
Yep. And if it was rarely discussed in explicit terms amongst the top Nazi brass. I mean, yeah, the Einsatzgruppen guys talked about it. The guys at Auschwitz, they talked about it.
But you could say that, that's just them daydreaming and having fun.
But Heinrich Himmler gave a speech to all of the top Nazi officials in which he defended his decision to continue exterminating Jews no matter what, saying that all Nazis were, quote, forced to come to the grim decision that these people must be made to disappear from the face of the earth. But the point of this speech, really, was that there was now no top Nazi who could say that he didn't know exactly what Heinrich Himmler had been doing in the name of the Nazi Party.
Did they all go, when he said it, they all go, no.
He's been killing Jews.
Killing the... Oh, I thought they went on a big field where they would just run and play.
Sorry, when did we stop with the Madagascar plan? I thought that was the idea. I thought that was where they went.
Honestly, I just knew that the lemurs were too fun for them to mix with the Jews. We didn't want them all singing songs and learning group dances.
Ishfa, too. Ishfa.
Yeah. But in other words, it was now in every top Nazi's best interest to either help Himmler cover up what he'd done or do whatever they could to avoid defeat, because the hidden message behind Himmler's speech was that if I'm going down, all you fuckers are going down with me.
Oh, yeah, the ultimate Nazi.
Did we know what was happening at this point?
Yeah.
And we were just ignoring it, or was it, because I'm very, it's confusing to me, because I see certain things, movies that are like, oh, apparently the Germans are killing Jews, and no one had any idea until they actually showed up to a concentration camp.
Watch the Ken Burns series, America and the Holocaust.
Yeah.
It's like 3 parts. It's really fucking devastating, but it is incredible, and it will answer every question that you have.
Because I know you haven't had enough.
Yeah, no, I need another 12-hour series to really get the answers here.
And this one's going to make you feel really bad about your own country, too.
Yeah.
Instead of just humanity as a whole.
Well, I know we turned them all away when they tried to come here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Now, the Soviets retaking territory after territory in the East was bad enough. But on June 6th, 1944, time to feel good again,
No, thank God.
the Allies pulled off the largest single amphibious invasion in history, D-Day. And with the invasion of France, the Nazis were now fighting a war on two fronts. With that, the Nazis were well and truly fucked. And none of the top Nazis feared the Allied invasion more than Heinrich Himmler. He had been, to say the least, a very bad boy. And he knew that the world just wasn't gonna get what he was trying to accomplish. So Himmler basically began cleaning up for when company finally arrived.
Because he knew someone was going to have to be in charge after all this shit goes down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, somebody's got to be there to restart the German government.
On July 29th, just after D-Day, Himmler decided to shut down his research institute, the Ahnenerbe.
And that must have really hurt for him.
It really did. See, while the Ahnenerbe had started with archaeological digs and study groups dedicated to the Icelandic Edda, they had, by the end of the war, become deeply enmeshed in building a Jewish skeleton collection sourced from various human experiments that Himmler had overseen. They needed to better identify who was Jewish and who wasn't.
And
because they actually found that there were actually quite a few Jews who had blonde hair and blue eyes.
Oh, yeah.
So they were like, but what we need to do, they actually said, like, we need to get 124 Jewish skulls, 4 skeletons, and we need them to be very pristine, and then we can figure out exactly how we can tell who's Jewish and who's not.
God, they just wasted so much fucking time. I know they did a lot of other horrible things, but I just like the rational part of me is like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's because hate blinds them. Hate blinds them. And you think it's like when you go record shopping where they don't want to just order any Jewish skeleton off the internet. They want to find one. They want to find a good one.
It's about the hunt. Yeah.
And did they find anything was different?
No.
Of course not.
Yeah, as far as I know,
yarmulke dance. But that's different. That it's a whole. That's another. Depends on what kind of Jewish person you are.
Well, it was all based on phrenology. You know, the fucking pseudoscience where it's like the shape of your head, the shape of your skull predicts all of your behavior. Even predicts like what jobs you'll be good at. You know,
That's stupid Django Unchained shit.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. No, and the Nazis were full believers in that, and the Jewish skeleton collection was an outcropping of phrenology. But when Himmler had the Ahnenerbe evacuated, he had his scientists hide all their research files in an actual cave called Little Devil's Hole near the village of Pottenstein for later retrieval. Because, as we're about to find out, Heinrich Himmler was nothing if not an optimist. He fully believed that he could somehow weather the coming storm if only he could position everything in just the right light. And once he pulled that off, his scientists would be able to return to their so-called research once the heat had died down.
Just him looking at the Holocaust, being like, so you're gonna get over this.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna get over this. We're gonna really move. And then he was correct.
That attitude, though, had gotten him where he was at this point.
Yeah. It had,
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
just keep pushing forward, no matter what.
Just keep swimming.
Now, most of the serious military minds in the Wehrmacht knew that the war was unwinnable after D-Day, and they saw absolutely no point in continuing the fight. But they also knew that the war was going to drag on for as long as Adolf Hitler was in power. Fighting to the death was actually kind of Hitler's dream anyway.
Yeah.
It's like if a pilot's always wanted to go crashing his plane.
And that's why he refused to leave Berlin, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, he went to Berlin partly because he had nowhere else to go, and that's just he knew that was the place of last resort, and he knew that the Russians would have to kill as many people as possible. If he was right in the center of Berlin, then they would have to kill everyone to get to Hitler. Because the big reason why so many Germans have believed that they were quote-unquote stabbed in the back with their surrender after World War I is because while the Great War seemed to be going well in the eyes of the average soldier on the ground in 1919, soldiers like Adolf Hitler himself, Germany's generals had gamed out the whole thing and had rightfully seen that the Great War was unwinnable. So, rather than needlessly waste lives on pride, the Germans surrendered in 1919 to spare the German people the continuation of a war that would have destroyed all of Germany for no reason at all. Hitler, of course, was of the exact opposite mindset.
Sequel's always worse.
Yep. If victory for Germany was impossible, then Hitler was going to take Germany all the way down to the depths of hell with him as he melted down. Because if fascist leaders are good at anything, it's temper tantrums. That's actually how they describe Hitler much of the time. Is like he's got the temperament of a toddler.
Yeah.
He throws tantrums constantly, and he's always been that way.
Yeah, that's how he's depicted in most movies.
And so, in order to try to spare the total destruction of Germany in World War II, a group of senior Nazis decided to finally take Hitler out with a time bomb briefcase planted in the Wolfslayer, in what came to be known as Operation Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Now, the briefcase, planted by a colonel named Klaus Philipp Maria Justinian Schenkgraf von Stauffenberg.
This is the problem. It's the issue. We're concentrating on names. We're not concentrating on assassinating Hitler.
Yeah, you can't decide if you're Santa Claus.
Stop adding names. Start writing blueprints for how to kill Hitler.
Are you Maria?
Like, holy fucking shit. Concentrate a little bit.
The briefcase was tragically pushed away from Hitler completely by accident after von Stauffenberg set the timer. Another Nazi took the brunt of the blast, and Hitler came away with only minor injuries. It really is a quirk of history. There were 10 minutes between the time that he set the timer and the time that the bomb went off, and someone just, this briefcase is in the way, and moved it.
That's so fucking annoying.
It really is.
2 suitcases.
6 suitcases.
You're gonna have to blow up the room you're in. Sorry, guys. Everybody's got to go.
Yeah, maybe just strap it to your chest.
I don't know. Sorry, guys.
Heinrich Himmler, of course, was tasked with finding the assassins. Himmler learned the identities of the conspirators and had them arrested and executed the very next day. Hitler was characteristically furious, but the attempted assassination had only served to shrink the circle of people that Hitler trusted to an even smaller number.
And didn't Hitler love von Stauffenberg?
He did. Von Stauffenberg was one of the most respected soldiers in all of Germany. Everyone loved von Stauffenberg.
It really broke his heart.
It did.
See, that is the guy he trusted.
No, and that is that's the thing about Hitler is that, near the end, like, he's just, why is everybody turning on me?
Everybody's mad at me as if I started a war with the world. It's like the whole world is angry with me and my actions.
Do you think that those Nazis weren't Nazis, or do you think that they were just trying to, like, save face for when this all came crashing down?
Can it all be one?
The guys in Operation Valkyrie?
Yeah.
Complicated answer. Because there were a lot of Germans in the Wehrmacht who hated the Nazis, hated Hitler, but they kind of justified staying in the war because they said that they were fighting for the German people and they were doing everything they could to try to save as many German lives as possible. They said, if I abandon my people, then all of these boys are going to die. But on the other hand, that also meant that they were fighting for Adolf Hitler at the end of the day. So
it's like the trainers at SeaWorld.
Yes.
Actually, it's almost exactly like that. Yeah.
It's like the people who build the bears at Build-A-Bear, making these soulless automatons to go live life and then die and go to hell because they'll never be saved by the light of Christ.
Starting to feel guilty selling all these bears.
Just releasing them into the world to be tortured and then buried alive.
Rise from your grave.
Sling is changing the way live TV works by putting viewers in charge of their entertainment. Pay only for the months when TV is actually needed, and skip the ones when it's not. For short-term needs, Sling Passes provide live TV access without commitment. A day pass for $4.99 offers 24 access, a week pass, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Unsling is the only place that you can watch your pretty faces going to hell on an app. It's the only place where you can do it, and so therefore, it has become my favorite app. So you go to wherever the Sling is, find Sling, and you can go to see your pretty faces going to hell on it. And that's all that matters. We'll show people your pretty faces going to hell. Okay? So go, get Sling, great app. How I've organized my channel lineup is I put your pretty faces going to hell 5 times on it. So go check it out. Choose and customize your channel lineup or pause and watch for free. Sling lets you do that. Visit sling.com to learn more. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the idea of learning a new language, you're not alone. Studies show that 70 to 90% of people trying to learn a new language give up. Fortunately, Babbel's built so that it's really easy to get started. Learning a language with Babbel is all about small steps, big wins, and progress you can actually track and feel. Their bite-sized lessons fit easily into your daily routine and are also easy to remember. It's easy to use Babbel. It's easy for you to learn different words, stuff like if you're in Germany and you need to be like, hey, where can I get some see-through lederhosen? You can learn that. If you go to Mexico City and you want to learn how to say, do you have any see-through lederhosen? In Mexico City, you can learn how to do that. I believe the Spanish word for lederhosen is lederhosen. And I learned that from Babbel. Here's a special limited time deal for our listeners. Right now, get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription at babbel.com/left. Get up to 55% off at babbel.com/left. Spelled BABBEL.com/left. Rules and restrictions may apply. If you could stop someone from breaking into your home before they even got inside, why wouldn't you? Traditional security systems only respond after break-in. SimpliSafe is different. With their active guard outdoor protection, you can prevent crimes before they happen. AI-powered cameras detect threats while they are still outside your home and alert real security agents. I want to get mine retrofuted so it can shoot nets or big piles of sticky goo that will make the criminals froze to the spot. And then I can take their phones and subscribe them to our wonderful podcasts here at Last Podcast Network. I wish that my SimpliSafe AI-powered cameras could see the entire world so that I could catch every instance of crime before it happens. And yes, my reign will be both terrible and awesome. You will eventually see that using the power of AI cameras fueled by the strength of SimpliSafe will allow me to apply a, yes, cold and impersonal, yet kind ruling hand to ours. We also use it here at the studio, and they've got really good customer service. So thank you guys so much for using SimpliSafe, and I hope that you do. Don't miss out on SimpliSafe's biggest sale of the year, 60% off. Right now, our listeners can save 60% off on a SimpliSafe home security system at simplisafe.com/LPOTL. That's simplisafe.com/LPOTL. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Now, outwardly, Himmler was still acting as if the Nazis would never be defeated. He began leaning hard on Werner von Braun's V-2 rockets as Nazi Germany's savior. But while those designs would eventually take America to the moon after we scooped up von Braun in Operation Paperclip, the V-2 rockets wouldn't do dick to help the Nazis win the war. Sure, it'd kill a lot of British people, but it did not do anything to take and hold land.
That's why I like those V3 rockets.
Well, as such, the Allied forces kept gaining momentum, and as they took more land and began liberating more concentration camps, the machinery of Himmler's genocide was becoming more and more difficult to operate. See, it was obvious by spring of 1944 that the Allied forces were definitely going to find Auschwitz, and Himmler knew that once they discovered the full extent of that horror show, there was going to be no coming back for the Third Reich. Yeah.
Which one is left? Oh, that's fine. Oh, that one's fine. Buchenwald is fine. Dachau. Oh, no!
You know, they say hindsight is 20/20.
Not for me, though.
You know, you make that joke, but he kind of made that argument later on to a Jew. Yeah. Himmler also knew that his name would be the first one given to Allied forces as the man who gave most of the direct orders for genocide. But Himmler was, as I said, an optimist. And at the end of the day, Himmler really just didn't want to die, whether it be by an enemy bullet or at the end of a noose.
Yeah, he was a coward.
Yeah. So even though he knew that the Third Reich was fucked, he convinced himself that a few goodwill gestures would be enough to rehabilitate his personal reputation, even though announcements had already been made that war crime trials were coming for all top Nazis as soon as the war was over. And it's at this point in the story that we see the return of Heinrich Himmler's masseur, Felix Kirsten. See, Felix really was an incredible massage therapist with high-powered clients. So he did actually have a lot of connections to officials in foreign governments. In fact, Felix Kirsten had been contacted by special American envoys on orders from none other than Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1943.
Why does this feel like telling Kato Kalin to go kill Saddam Hussein? You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? Why are we involving this man?
Because he is the one who has Himmler's ear. He's the only one who has a direct line to Himmler, and people know Himmler listens to Felix.
Yeah, and, maybe FDR just was like, hey, maybe he could help with my scoliosis.
It was polio. It was polio, and his favorite treatment for his polio was going down to the hot springs in Georgia, and he actually founded a whole polio kind of getaway for kids down there.
Yeah, that's where you get pegged.
I thought that was Eleanor's girlfriend's name.
Got her.
No, Eleanor had her own cottage up in upstate New York.
Yeah, it was right next to FDR's house. You can actually see it from the other building.
Yeah, her pussy palace.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why FDR had sent this envoy is because he wanted to see if Heinrich Himmler wanted to negotiate the end of the Third Reich in 1943, when it became obvious that there was just no talking to this Hitler guy.
Yeah, and Himmler was what a great guy. I guess that's the problem, too, is you do it's this normalization.
Well,
you're going to still treat it like it's just some other government.
Well, you're just trying anything you can at this point. He's really trying anything that he can.
We give Eddie and I love to make fun of FDR, but he did do his best.
He did.
He's one of our best presidents.
Yeah,
he is. Yeah, it's like, of course,
it's just fun to randomly attack him.
Of course, yeah, he did some horrible things, but he also did some absolutely incredible things as well.
Yeah, he's still a president.
Yeah,
he's still a piece of shit because he became a president.
Yeah, all of them are criminals.
Yeah, anybody who's a president's a monster.
Yeah. Now, Heinrich Himmler had scoffed at the idea of negotiating with the Allies when Felix first approached him with it. But after Germany's last attempt at a Western offensive failed with the Battle of the Bulge, and as the Soviets inched ever closer to Berlin from the east, Heinrich Himmler decided that maybe it was time to revisit his Messieurs connections in 1945. Now, Himmler was not the only top Nazi trying to negotiate with the Allied forces in the last year of the war.
That's my favorite, that they all ran to go to negotiate.
Quite a few of them did. And at this point, Rudolf Hess had already flown to Scotland to try to negotiate the end of the war. A lot of the guys would be like,
wearing a kilt, and him just sort of be like, I've always loved Scotland. The Highlands, nothing to replace the Highlands,
Well, when word of these negotiations reached Hitler, Hitler announced that any German who helped the British, the Americans, or the Jews, they would be executed. But Himmler was far better at hiding his negotiations than others, or at least he was for the time being.
He got real close.
See, Hitler and Himmler had a little meeting at the Wolf's Lair just after Hitler heard that some of his men were negotiating.
Come with me to the Cub House.
You say the Cub House? Yeah. I like that.
And Himmler immediately after gave the order that no concentration camp inmate in the southern half of Germany should fall into enemy hands alive. But while Hitler was obviously trying to just take as many people with him as he possibly could, especially if they were Jewish, the Nazi fever was finally breaking, and many of the concentration camp commandants were finally realizing that they were about to be in a lot of trouble.
No, we're really not supposed to be doing that.
I'm going to say, honestly, since the very beginning of this whole thing, I felt weird.
Yeah.
This whole thing just seemed kind of off.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah,
because,
but
it's hard to say when everyone's into it. But now in hindsight, 2020, it's 2020. Yeah.
Hindsight.
Well, because these concentration camp commandants had seen what was coming, the concentration camp deaths had therefore begun to slow down considerably despite the kill-em-all order. And Himmler, likewise, decided that he was going to use the remaining 200,000 Jews still being held in concentration camps as bargaining chips to save his own skin.
Now, this was where I'm confused, because I'm pretty sure that when there were the concentration camps were shutting down, didn't that when the death marches started and they just started killing everyone?
It is highly complicated, and a lot of different things, many different things happen. Many things can be true all at once. Himmler did want to use Jews as bargaining chips, but there was also certain concentration camps like Auschwitz. It was empty out Auschwitz, but they just put these people on death marches to other camps
to move them away from where the soldiers were coming.
Yeah, because they're trying to hide them. They're trying to hide and it really is and they're doing it in a panic because they're like, I don't know what the fuck. Just take them somewhere else. Just take them somewhere else.
Yeah,
and that's they're trying to. What they were trying to do is they were trying to hide them.
Yeah, and it's like they're all witnesses.
Yes, they are all witnesses, and remember, there are thousands of concentration camps.
Yeah,
and every single concentration camp commandant is thinking, I'm probably on chopping block.
But maybe mine's not the worst one.
Yeah, well, that is, unfortunately, how it eventually worked out.
Oh, yeah.
But while Himmler was trying to formulate a plan to save himself, Adolf Hitler dropped just about the biggest pile of shit possible directly onto Heinrich Himmler's plate.
Number 2.
Yeah. With so many of Hitler's top military men either captured, dead, or in open negotiation with the Allies, Hitler gave direct command of the Air Force to Hermann Göring, while command of the ground forces were turned completely over to Heinrich Himmler. Now, Göring had actually been in the military in World War I. He was a hero pilot, but Heinrich Himmler had never served in the military in any capacity, aside from the scant training he'd received as a teenager. So his short reign as a military strategist was predictably disastrous. To try and make up for his lack of military expertise, Himmler enlisted a staff of SS men to advise him. But if you'll remember, the SS was a paramilitary force.
Yeah, they're all faking it.
Yeah, so none of his advisors had any on-the-ground military experience either. It's all fucking theoretical to them. See, Heinrich Himmler was incredibly good at organizing mass murder. He was very good at killing people. But according to soldiers under his command, he was incapable of keeping people alive, incapable of understanding the logistics of moving men and supplies, incapable of knowing how many men were needed to hold a position. Himmler's biggest fuck-up, for example, was his withdrawal of Nazi forces from the precise place where the Red Army was pushing through into Germany. These forces, the last remaining Nazis who could actually fight, were ordered to retreat to just outside of Berlin, or they were ordered to defend concentration camps that were likely to fall into Allied hands, again, to cover up for Himmler's crimes.
And it's a way to look like he's trying to do the utmost to save Hitler at the very, very end.
Yep.
He's such a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
He is.
The Nazis on the Red Army front were disastrously replaced with inexperienced cadets and members of the Volkssturm, the so-called People's Army, that was mostly made up of old men and children. These replacements were, of course, slaughtered by the Reds, who continued their unstoppable march towards Berlin. But even though Himmler was a terrible military commander, he was still the second most powerful man in the Third Reich. And while he was certainly doing his best to cover up his war crimes, just in case, he was still absolutely convinced, even in 1945, that he could pull off some miracle that would both win the war and put Himmler in the position of Führer.
Is it just, wow, they're so confident.
Well, he's delusional.
Yeah.
And because you got to remember, this guy's been delusional his entire life.
It's always worked for him.
Yeah, the way he sees that, he's always seen the world in a way that nobody else sees it.
Yeah.
And
that's why he's such a bad farmer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta use water.
Can't use Gatorade. Yeah. And so, in the final months of the war, Himmler became obsessed with a scheme to build a bizarre electrical weapon based on the fantasies surrounding Norse mythology that had been nurtured by his bogus Ahnenerbe research. All of this, God, this just makes me want to play Wolfenstein all over again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's like Doom, but with Nazis. It's so much more fun.
It's made by the same people.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I love Wolfenstein so much. See, Heinrich Himmler really did believe that the story of Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, was an actual history involving a sophisticated piece of electrical engineering that the ancient Aryans had developed as a weapon. And this isn't like during the heady days of 1935 when everything is just sort of like theoretical. Like, this is when Nazi Germany is rubble, and he still believes in this shit. So Himmler ordered his staff to stop at nothing to build a modern version of Mjolnir that would shut down all the electrical systems of the Allied forces, which admittedly wasn't the worst idea because this is actually possible with electromagnetic pulses, EMPs.
Yeah, if you could figure that out.
Yeah. But the company that Himmler tasked with building the modern Mjolnir, a company called Elamag, they did not have the brains to pull it off. In what's probably the most Nazi scientist shit that I've ever heard, the Elamag engineers said that they could transform the Earth's atmosphere into a giant remote control that can turn off all of the Allies' electrical equipment.
And then we will use the all-powerful rewind button to push back the Allied advance. And then we will use the pause button. And then we will use the tracking button in order to possibly more clearly see where they are located.
Yes,
And then we use guns and bombs.
they've gone full Spaceballs at this point.
Yes. They went from suck to blow.
Well, Elamag actually drew up blueprints for this idea.
That's easy to do.
Yeah.
I draw you fucking big old fucking remote control on a piece of white paper. It's easy.
And Himmler took Elamag's ideas to the SS technical office, who studied the blueprints for weeks. They eventually had to tell Himmler that it was all just a fantasy, but Himmler refused to accept it. He got a second opinion from an expert on electromagnetism, who very gently, very, very gently, told Heinrich Himmler that the Elamag engineers
Kissing his
were...
hands, kissing his wrist.
Yes.
I love you so much.
Yes.
I love your hate
Yes.
so much.
They very gently told Himmler that the Elamag engineers were basically talking out of their ass. So Himmler was forced to abandon his quest for Germany's Mjolnir. Ironically, though, Himmler was rushing to engineer a doomsday weapon at the end of the war when it was Heinrich Himmler himself who had turned down Werner Heisenberg's plans to build an atomic bomb years earlier in 1942.
This will be better than the stupid atomic bomb. It'll be better and bigger and it's more impressive because it's electric powers. Like Thor had.
We're unplugging the Allies.
How cool is that? How cool is that to send a static shock? Like when one rubs your feet on the carpet and you touch a balloon. How desperate and powerful would that powerful end-of-world weapon be when we static electricity the hair up to the skies of every ally force?
I don't know. That sounds Jewish, though. You heard of a Jewfro, right? That just sounds like a big Jewfro to me.
Are you accusing me of being Jewish by saying that? You Jew?
Someone needs to get Felix in here.
God, my neck!
And by the end of March 1945, the Allied bombers had reduced both Berlin and Munich to rubble, and the Soviets were just 100 kilometers from Berlin. The Soviets had also been taking revenge along the way, committing unforgivable atrocities of their own as payback for what Hitler and the Einsatzgruppen had done in the East. There is a harrowing documentary called, I think it's called Berlin 1945, that is shocking. Adolf Hitler, of course, had now come to blame every bad thing that had happened directly on Heinrich Himmler.
I mean, it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Finally.
I mean, Himmler's been his bitching post for years, and so now he's become the focus point of Himmler's rage. Their relationship had quickly soured when it became obvious that Himmler was a terrible military commander, and Hitler, as a show of humiliation, had ordered that any forces under Himmler's command had to remove Hitler's name from their uniforms.
But I'm doing this shit, buddy.
But while Hitler refused to capitulate no matter what terms were offered and was very much determined to drag Germany into hell no matter how deep it went, Heinrich Himmler still very much wanted to live. By this point, he thought that he could shorten the war himself and pivot to a solely anti-Soviet stance.
Yeah.
Then he could position Germany, no longer Nazi, as a bulwark against the Russians, with Himmler in charge.
Not a bad plan.
It's really not.
I mean, I hate him, but it's a good plan.
Well, the idea of thinking that we'd automatically be like, oh, sure, wasn't that far off either.
Yeah.
Well, Himmler sent this proposal to the Allies, but the Allies were by this point well aware of what Himmler had done as commander of the SS. So the Allies basically said, are you fucking kidding me? And promptly turned down Himmler's offer. Like, yeah, we might do that, but it ain't going to be with you.
No, we're going to use far less effective Nazis to run your next government, and they're going to ruin everything by not even being good at being not very good Nazis.
Well, I mean, what they tried to do at first was to denazify everything.
And they can't.
But the problem is that when they tried to they're like, oh yeah, let's just take all the Nazis out of the system, and then, we'll restart the government. And they looked around and said like, oh, everyone was a Nazi. There's no one left to run. So then there's no one left to actually run this country. And there's no one left and the people who are left don't know how anything works. So we're going to have to start playing a game of how bad of a Nazi were you?
Yep. Yeah.
And how much can we whitewash this? And that's how, Germany kind of was able to forget all the horrible things they'd done because so many people, so many people went unpunished after the war.
Yeah, but I will say, like, instead of... it's almost worse that we, like, instead of, like, getting them to help us kill the Russians, we just gave half of them to Russia.
Well, Berlin, that's all... East Germany, that's a whole different can of worms.
All I know is that if I was in charge, I would have known exactly what to do, and they should have let me do it. All right?
Well,
delete the country. Blank space. Fill it with various corporate entities. The entire thing. Fast food nation.
Give it to Nestle.
Give it to Nestle. They love water. There's so much fresh water there.
And so, as the curtain finally began to fall on Nazi Germany, Heinrich Himmler continued the job that Hitler had given him as commander-in-chief of what was left of the Nazi Wehrmacht. After retreating to his luxurious villa between Berlin and the now destroyed city of Dresden, Himmler treated command almost casually. He'd wake up at 8 a.m. and get a massage from Felix. He'd finally get around to looking at the dreaded war reports around 11. And then about noon, he'd eat lunch, and then he'd rest, because he needs his rest.
I get it. It's stressful.
And then he'd spend another hour, maybe two, on more war reports before dinner. But after dinner, he was reportedly in bed by 10 o'clock every night. And as one author put it, Himmler ensconced himself in his room like a terrified schoolboy attempting to escape the wrath of an authority that overwhelmed him. Hitler, meanwhile, was still focusing all of his wrath directly on Himmler, to the point where some of Hitler's staff said that they had never seen Hitler rage so violently. And that's saying something. About Himmler, near the end, Hitler would say things like, quote,
I do not like him. I do not want him around me. Get him out of here.
Everyone's like, yeah, we've been saying that,
Yeah,
bro.
we all hate him,
We've been like bringing that up for a while.
Yeah,
bro.
he sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Thank God, because Hitler, man, you're cool. I don't care what he fucking says, dude. You're fucking awesome, dude.
Thank you. Are you serious?
Everyone says Heil Hitler, but nobody says
Nobody
says Heil Hitler. Nobody says cool Hitler. Nobody says Hitler. Oh my God, you're so rad.
Hitler, you know how to fuck me. No one ever said that once.
Now, Heinrich Himmler finally lost his military command on March 20th, 1945. But there really wasn't much left to command anyway. While the remaining Nazis had been ordered to stand their ground and fight to the death, no matter what, the hardened nationalists that had made up the Nazi Wehrmacht, they were fucking dead. And the army was mostly made up of foreign conscripts, schoolboys, old men, and convicts. And so, with his command taken away and the Allied forces moving ever closer to victory, Heinrich Himmler decided that it was probably in his best interest to abandon his dream of becoming the Fuhrer in favor of trying to backtrack the Holocaust as much as possible. Now, Himmler's masseur, Felix Kirsten, actually played an extremely important role here. He'd been working with Allied forces to arrange safe transport to Dutch, French, and Jewish prisoners out of the concentration camps, and he managed the release of some 20,000 prisoners.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Felix actually claimed to have slowed down the entire mechanism of mass murder single-handedly at the end. He said that he was the one that convinced Himmler to stop killing prisoners, but that's debatable. Felix liked to overblow. He did play a big role, but he like to say he played an even bigger one. Like he said, like, I saved every person in the Netherlands. I saved all of them.
Well, it's because
they were going to kill them.
It's because he needed to, because he was massaging Himmler every day.
Yeah.
All he had to do is stick his thumb right up Himmler's ass.
Once. Just make him come by prostate once. What is he going to do?
But whether it was Felix's idea or not, Himmler did order his concentration camp commandants in 1945 to halt all executions, surrender to the Allies, and freely give up their prisoners. Now, while Felix was doing his best to save as many concentration camp prisoners as possible, he also approached another Nazi general to try and convince him to team up with Himmler so they could convince Adolf, one way or another, to offer an armistice.
God, it's just you're just trying to relax, okay? It's the end of the war. Do we have to talk work while you're massaging me? Does it always have to be us teaming up against Hitler?
But even with everything lost, Himmler was still terrified of Hitler, because in the end, Himmler was quite simply a fucking coward in every way. Instead of standing up, Himmler assembled his staff, gave a nonsensical, rambling speech, and retired from all 11 of his commands.
And you won't have Heinrich Himmler to kick around anymore.
I'm going to stop being your leader.
Himmler then decided to create a more positive paper trail for himself by issuing a death penalty order to all concentration camp commandants who had allowed neglect, death, and despair to fester in the camps. Because Himmler was trying very much to frame it where none of this is my fault. Like, I gave some orders, but these guys, Jesus. The camps had, in the words of Joseph Goebbels, and this is a bit of an understatement, they had all grown a bit above Himmler's head.
Oh sure, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Man, he's just like, what did you do? Are you kidding me? They're doing what?
They're doing what? They're doing what? Where?
Good work. I can't believe you. You're awful. Good job. But you...
It's kind of crazy, because I actually gave orders to make distraction camps. That's what going to be to it. Distracts the prisoners with fun times. like roller hockey and all sorts of hockey, table hockey.
I'm thinking about celebrating Hanukkah this year.
And hockey was actually developed by the Native Americans.
A lot of people don't respect them. I think
Well, having issued the death penalty order, Himmler, in one of the ballsiest moves in human history, he had Felix Kirsten arrange a meeting with the Swedish representative of the World Jewish Congress. So Himmler could, in his own words, quote, bury the hatchet between us and the Jews.
But I just want to make sure is that you don't hold any grudges. Because grudges, they make us unhealthy. And it's stress. You want to let it go.
You remember Felix?
Release.
He's done amazing work.
You've got to try Felix.
It's a lot of massaging, even for Felix.
It's a lot of massaging.
Now, this meeting did lead to the release of 20,000 people, but Himmler also used the meeting to attempt a whitewashing of his role in the Holocaust, and he did this while speaking with the Jewish representative, a man named Norbert Masser.
Nothing I love since my good buddy here, what a mensch. I love my guy. What is just so nice to go have a nosh with my best buddy and I. We're sitting with kibitz and we just talk. Nothing so much fun to sit down and good old.
I got 20,000 Jews here coming to you. It's a real mitzvah.
They would, we can schlepp them here? That's the word? Schlepp, is that the word? The word.
Now, Norbert, is that the Jewish name?
I like it.
Amongst other lies and half-hearted justifications, Himmler said that the camp crematorium, big misunderstanding. Just nobody gets what we're trying to do here. Those crematoriums, especially the ones at Birkenau, they're only there to burn the people who died from typhus.
Yeah, when I heard crematorium, I said, yes, of course. And then next door to that, we can have the yogurt factory. Because, of course, there's a healthier cream for some people. It's the whipped cream factory that... Shut up! Okay? I can't even...
Himmler also said that while horrible things had happened, occasionally, Himmler had punished those responsible. Everything that people had heard about the camps, Himmler said, it's just Allied propaganda. And all of it looked a lot worse than it really was. Like, you get these guys a shower, they'd be fine. God. Norbert Masser, of course, was astounded by Himmler's shallowness. But nevertheless, he endured 2.5 hours of conversation with the architect of the Holocaust in order to save lives, and he did. Now, 2 days after Himmler's meeting with Norbert Masser, Himmler met with a Swedish count, where Himmler insisted that Hitler would be dead within days. This wasn't a bad guess on Himmler's part, because this meeting took place just a week before Hitler bit the bullet in his bunker in Berlin. But the purpose of this meeting was so the Swedish count could contact General Dwight D. Eisenhower to arrange for Germany's surrender to the Americans rather than the Soviet Union. Unfortunately for Himmler, though, the news of his attempt at brokering peace was made public. It hit the newspapers on April 28th. And when Hitler heard about it, he hit the fucking roof of that bunker.
Oh, I could just see him hanging out of the ceiling, just his shoulders, you know, like...
It said that Hitler actually turned red when he found out about this, that his face became virtually unrecognizable in its fury, because Himmler was the one Nazi that Hitler had trusted most of all. Loyal Heinrich, he called him. And so Hitler gave all of Himmler's responsibilities to Hermann Göring, and he ordered Himmler's arrest. Himmler, however, wouldn't learn that Hitler knew of his betrayal until after Hitler's death, which came at long last with a suicidal bullet on April 30th, 1945, just 10 days after Hitler's 56th birthday.
It is fun.
It's so sad. Man, he looked bad for 56.
He looked really bad. Well, I mean, he was a 56-year-old meth head. They don't look good. But the other thing, too, is that
stress.
He was, in the last few weeks, he actually ran out of Pervitin. So in Hitler's final days, he was also going through meth withdrawals on top of everything else.
Oh,
Probably
that's why he turned red.
But they also had full-on, like, orgies. So all the families started, like, fucking each other and shit. It was, like, really... Have you read about the...
No, this isn't true.
That is true. Honestly, there was a gigantic orgy amongst the soldiers.
But Hitler wasn't there.
No, he couldn't fuck.
Yeah.
Bunker orgy.
Hitler. Yeah, this is it was the orgy of, all the soldiers, it was when the Russians finally busted through. All the soldiers were like fucking and sucking each other while the families were there. And his families were murdered.
The Germany officially surrendered to the Allied forces on May 7th. And while Hitler and Goebbels had escaped the upcoming military tribunals to punish Germany's war criminals through suicide, Goebbels had also, of course, had his wife and all of his children commit suicide as well. Most of the top Nazis were still at large. One of the biggest prizes, of course, was Heinrich Himmler. Now, Himmler was still fully delusional, but his delusions had shrunk with each passing day. Just after Hitler died, Himmler declared to his remaining staff that he was going to establish his own government to begin independent negotiations with the Allies. But when Germany surrendered without him, Himmler shaved his mustache, changed out of his trademark glasses, put an eye patch over his right eye, and used the ID of a police officer named Heinrich Hitzinger to travel around.
Hello, nice to meet you. My name's Heinrich Himmler.
Why are you pretending to be a woman?
I've never done high voice still man. Just a bit of a high voice individual, so certainly no crimes here. Can't see on my left side.
He didn't even bother to change his name.
Oh, you can't remember to answer to another name.
Well, they say that's actually what you want to do when you choose an alias. You want to choose somebody who has the same initials as you so you can keep your signature. And, of course, if they have the same first name as you, then, yes, it makes it easier to... You will always still answer to Heinrich.
Yes.
It's just like there's many Heinrichs.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. So he's HH, and that's, he then became more famous, became the wrestler Triple H.
That's when he graduated.
That didn't make any sense at all.
That's for years I thought that's what Triple H's name was.
There we go. See, he saved it.
My name's Heinrich Himmler.
Well, then, Heinrich Himmler, with his mistress Hedwig Potthast and their 2 children in tow, he laid low in the town of Flensburg for a couple of days while his staff regrouped. Many of Himmler's men had actually fled to the Alps, and from there, they had planned to launch a Nazi guerrilla movement, codenamed Werewolf.
We're Team Jacob.
Just be a gorilla.
Nope, we're werewolves.
We're werewolves.
Werewolf.
Their castle. But after just 11 days on the run, Heinrich Himmler and his entourage were detained at a British checkpoint. Now, the British didn't recognize Himmler because he totally changed his appearance.
Yes, and I have a high voice now.
Yeah, because he's not unmistakably looking at all.
Yeah, not me.
But they had orders to arrest all German officers, and Himmler's papers were suspicious. Himmler eventually landed in front of a British captain named Thomas Sylvester.
Suffering succotash.
And yes, it is Sylvester, not Sylvester. Thomas Sylvester. Captain Thomas Sylvester at your service. He interrogated this small, sickly excuse for a human until he finally identified himself in a very meek tone as Heinrich Himmler.
Yeah, I'm Heinrich Himmler.
Sorry.
You don't like my high voice? You don't like this guy? Don't you wish I was this guy?
This is incredible. He again tried to save himself. He told Captain Sylvester, Himmler told Captain Sylvester that he could offer the services of codename Werewolf as guerrilla fighters to get the battle against the Soviets going immediately. But he could only do it if you let me talk to Winston Churchill personally.
Yeah,
that's the only way.
That's the only way to do it. Me and him hanging out, cigars. You know, really, just having a good time, having a bully of a time. Me and him going down there, having a nice one. Keep calm, carry on. You know I love this,
but it has to be during a full moon.
Now, Captain Sylvester wanted to make sure that this was indeed Heinrich Himmler, so he had his prisoners sign his name so they could compare handwriting from their records. Himmler, however, thought that Captain Sylvester was a fan and only wanted an autograph as a souvenir.
Fucking schmuck.
Himmler, however...
You should see my war crimes autograph book I have.
Himmler, however, kept dodging responsibility until the very end. When he was shown pictures of the mountains of corpses discovered at the Buchenwald camp, Himmler just glanced at the pictures, shrugged, and asked,
Am I responsible for the excesses of my subordinates?
Just
yes. Yes.
That's the first time I'm hearing
fucking work for you.
This is the first time I'm hearing that, okay? And the very first time, okay? So you don't fucking act like I should know better the whole time when I should have known better, right?
Maybe that's as they do it in Britain, but not in Germany. Where do you think you are, you fucking shithead?
You think I'm a micromanager?
Now, Himmler's British jailers had already searched him thoroughly for cyanide capsules when they figured out who he was, because they had just lost a different SS detainee who had killed himself by crushing a cyanide capsule between his teeth. They did not, however, search Himmler's mouth on the first go-round.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, get away from that. Working off a hunch, the British searched him again, but when they asked him to open his mouth, they saw a small black knob in a gap in Himmler's teeth. This, of course, was where Himmler had been hiding his cyanide capsule. And when the doctor examining Himmler reached for the vial, Himmler turned his head sharply and bit down on the doctor's finger, which, of course, crushed the vial as well.
Wow, he must have been so excited to finally do some violence.
Finally, yeah. Yes. But I feel sad for the doctor, like, he bit me! Himmler bit me! Ow!
Oh no, am I gonna turn into a Nazi when the full moon comes?
Ow! This hurt.
He was so bad at violence, the only time he actually committed any of it, he killed himself.
Yeah.
The medics tried for 15 minutes afterward to resuscitate the world's worst war criminal.
Dude.
Even go so far as to holding him upside down and shaking his body just so Hitler could see justice.
Dude, it's the fucking when the father goes down, Papa Atreides. He bites the fake tooth and he splits into the mouth of the Mentat.
Was this the proper time to insert a Dune reference?
I felt that my place here needs to be celebrated.
You needed to be seen.
Himmler does look like a baby Shai Hulud.
That's cute. He did put the shy in Shai Hulud.
Cry Hulud.
But in the end, the cyanide capsule enabled Himmler to escape justice into the cold embrace of death. And so, after Himmler's fetid corpse rotted for 2 days on the floor of the room where he died, a medic made plaster casts of Himmler's head and removed his brain. Although we have no idea where the cast nor where Himmler's brain ended up, or why they wanted them.
They wanted it to hang out with JFK's brain, just they need friends.
And Hitler's brain. Yeah. They saved Hitler's brain.
Angela Merkel's riding it.
Maybe that's what it is.
Merkel, a merkin, is a pubic wig.
Angela Merkel's fucking riding it, dude.
Maybe that's what her breasts are made out of, Hitler and Himmler's brains.
Oh, wow. Yummy, yum. Let's cut them off and see. Yeah.
I'm starting to crack up.
Yeah, we all are. Yeah, we're falling apart.
But after the Allies got what they wanted, Himmler's corpse was wrapped in army blankets, driven into the wilderness, and buried in an unmarked grave somewhere outside the German town of Lüneburg, where it presumably remains to this day. Now, it bears repeating that the toll for World War II was exceedingly high. The Soviet Union alone lost 26 million people. That includes 15 million civilians. But out of the estimated 80 million who died worldwide, it was Heinrich Himmler who was personally responsible for more of those deaths than anyone else. 2 million were killed in his concentration camps, while it's estimated that the 3,000 men who made up Himmler's Einsatzgruppen were responsible for the murders of up to 3.3 million people. On the high end of the estimates, that's 5.3 million people dead as a result of Heinrich Himmler's plans and orders. But the toll on the German people for believing the insane lies and ideas of Adolf Hitler and Heinrich Himmler, that was extraordinarily high as well. And this isn't, oh, think of the poor Germans. These are the consequences of fascism. On the low end, 2.2 million Nazi soldiers were killed during the war, although the number is sometimes estimated to be as high as 5.2 million. That, of course, doesn't even count the German civilians. Somewhere between 1.1 and 3.3 million German civilians were killed during World War II, with up to 500,000 dying in the Allied bombings alone. Additionally, some 1,600 German cities were partially destroyed, while up to 80% of the major cities like Berlin, Dresden, Cologne, and Hamburg were completely obliterated. Absolutely beautiful cities, the likes of which we will never see again. And all of this death and destruction came because the German people gave in to their worst instincts after being fed lie after lie after lie. Now, as I said in the first episode, the current administration we have here in America, they're not Nazis. And it should be obvious after listening to the last couple of episodes that the scale of these idiots doesn't even approach Nazi Germany. But it is also a mistake to underestimate these people. Remember that Heinrich Himmler, the greatest mass murderer in history, he was a small, mediocre, wholly inadequate man. His very appearance was so comical that Ed could roast him until the end of his days.
Soft-boiled piece of shit.
And Himmler was above all a coward to the core of his soul, but he was also a believer. He had, as one writer put it, a fanatical vision and energy, a drive that made him one of the masters of Europe in just 10 short years. And to that point, I do believe that our current administration, especially in this second term, is chock full of believers. And while they don't want us to say it, these believers are fascists, even if they and the people who follow them don't even understand what the word actually means. I really don't think they do, because in my opinion, believing in the promise of America means that you are by definition anti-fascist. Mm-hmm. Now me, I'm just a podcast host.
Not to me!
When I asked Carolina what I could do in the face of all this, she told me to do as the people of Santa Poco did when faced with the threat of the infamous El Guapo in the Three Amigos.
Okay.
The people of Santa Poco could sow. And thus, everyone who worked on this series did what we could do by our version of sowing, which is showing the evidence and ringing the alarm. But as far as what you can do, Remember Joseph Hartinger, the attorney in Munich who fought against the first deaths in the concentration camps, the man who pushed back and never gave up. As I said, historians believe that if there were just 100 men like Joseph Hartinger in Germany standing up for what was right, the Nazis would have been stopped long before World War II. So what I ask of you right now is to stand up and be like Joseph Hartinger. Be one of the 100. If you believe that what's happening in our country right now is wrong, then please stand up, especially if you're respected in your community, and say that it is wrong. Say it to your family. Say it to your friends, because the bad people are coming whether you want them to or not. And like the German people, you will suffer even if you don't stand beside them. And if you changed your stance on this government and their agenda, welcome back. But if you have a friend or family member who's changed their minds too, welcome them back if you can. And let's all go take care of these motherfuckers together, because it's going to take numbers to do it. But I cannot stress enough that taking care of these motherfuckers does not mean using violence. During the rise of the Nazis, violence never did anything but give the Nazis more power. Every fucking time. Look at the examples we gave. Remember the Reichstag fire. Remember Kristallnacht. Violence only causes more pain, and it gives the fascists the excuse they've been waiting for to bring down the boot that they're so casually hanging over the heads of every American. So again, I implore you, instead of being what they need you to be one of the 100 in your state, in your city, hell, in your fucking neighborhood, and stand up with whatever power you have against the things that you know in your heart are wrong. If enough of us do that day after day after day, then we just might have a chance, because we are fucking Americans. And I still truly believe that we are smart enough and good enough to succeed where others in the past have failed. And all we have to do to make that happen is to stand the fuck up when it's our turn to stand.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. We did it.
Yeah!
You fucking did it. Good work. Good fucking work.
Good work, Marcus. This was beautiful.
That was great.
Thank you.
That was a very nice ending,
I feel
man.
strong. And if you want to see us kill 500 people at a time, come see Side Stories live. Just go to lastpodcastontheleft.com and buy tickets. What a fucking series. What? I cannot believe we got to the end of it. You gotta be careful there. Keep your head in a swivel.
Yes. And also, thanks again to Carolina Hidalgo for her help in associate producing these last few episodes. Thanks to our incredible research team, Joel in particular, for making this happen. Joel really went above and beyond in the research on this one and gathering all this material and really putting himself through the fucking ringer to make this happen.
He worked on this shit for months.
He did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and Joel would also like us to point out that if you're looking for help in your community during these hard times, you can find resources at mutualaidhub.org. And he says that the book Mutual Aid by Dean Spade, available for free at anarchistlibrary.org, is a great resource for resisting fascism and keeping each other safe.
All right, let's go. Remember, you guys, because some of us, unfortunately, are still satanic capitalists, just like me. I am one. And I'm against it as well. So you can be both. You could be evil in your heart and actually against everything that's actually evil in meat space. Yeah. It's important. It's important to do, and it's important to hold the two together. And so thank you guys for listening. Next week, we're going to do, I'm really excited to come back with the child emasculations of Brazil next week. I think you guys are going to really love that series. Don't worry. It's only 19 emasculations. Yeah. And we're just going to do that from the top. Each one's different. So each time we talk about the different type of emasculation, we'll find different ways to go about it comedically.
Next week, we're taking the week off.
Yes.
We're going to be releasing two of our update episodes that were at one point SiriusXM exclusives, but we're going to be releasing them on the main feed for free because we and our staff need a break, and also because these two fellas are going to be on the seas next week.
We're going to be on a cruise. Okay.
Yeah. That's the great way to get out of this.
Yeah. We're going to crime wave at sea. All right. And it's not just what they wanted to do, bringing the Jews to the Madagascar. This is us on an actual Royal Caribbean cruise. We're going to be there. You can't even get tickets to it. It's already passed.
I think it's over. Yeah,
I think it's over. We had a great time.
Yeah, but if you want to, you can come see me this weekend in Orlando at Dead Men Tell Some Tales. And in 2 weeks, I'll be in San Diego at Mic Drop Comedy on a Sunday. That is November 16th. And if you want to see last podcast on the Left Live, we're coming all over the place. Right after Thanksgiving, we're going to be in Akron, Ohio. And then Portland, Oregon, 2 nights in December. Philadelphia, Austin, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Grand Rapids, Tulsa, and Oklahoma City. All next year with our fucking badass show that barely mentions Nazis.
There's a couple of mentions, we did actually. There was a Nazi section we ended up cutting during this series.
We're doing plenty.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're doing plenty.
They're in the news enough. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Go and check out our brand new show, LPN RPG Presents Bloodbath on LPN TV on YouTube. Go check it out. We are having a blast over there. People are already loving it, which is good. Go check out our other content over on YouTube that's on LPN TV, someplace underneath. LPN Romantasy, The Foreign Report, No Dogs in Space. I think that's it.
Right?
Huh?
Hail Satan.
Oh, we lost Marcus.
Yeah, no, sorry.
It's good. Yeah.
I finished. I disassociated completely.
How have you used any of your Eisensgruppen Day gifts yet?
You know what? I've actually been so busy. Not yet, but this weekend,
cracking that
I'm
pickaxe.
really hoping this weekend I can put that shovel into some dirt.
Yeah.
Or to the chest of your enemy.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. See you in the next Reich.
Hail Private First Class Murray Lifschultz, my great uncle who liberated. He was a medic and he got the Silver Star and was nominated for the Medal of Honor. Didn't get it, but he liberated the Flossenburg camp.
Was that the one he lost to Jared Leto?
Yeah. Hail him.
Hail Murray.
Yeah, and hail my uncle Walter, who actually was in the Bataan Death March and survived.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was in the Pacific Theater. My grandfather joined when the bombs dropped, but he saw Sinatra in San Francisco, and that was really cool.
Oh wow!
There you go.
Yeah, that was Papa. That was his favorite story.
Wow. Just beating the hell out of a hot dog vendor. Thanks, guys.
Hi, I'm Jenny Slate, and believe it or not, someone is allowing us to have a podcast.
I'm Gabe Weidman.
I'm Max Silvestri, and we've been friends for 20 years, and we like to reach out to kind of get advice on how to live our lives.
It's called I Need You Guys.
Should I give my baby fresh vegetables?
Can I drink the water at the hospital?
My landlord plays the trombone, and I can't ask him to stop.
You should make sure that you subscribe so that you never miss an episode.
I need you, girl.
This ad is only 15 seconds. In that amount of time, there are likely to be an average of over 15,000 cyber threats to all businesses. So there's no time to wait. Get threat ready with Comcast Business at ComcastBusiness.com/cybersecurity.